I'll declare the meeting open. This annual general meeting of electors will be video recorded and the recordings published on the Shire of Dundas website. The Shire of Dundas recognises the Nudgee and Manning as traditional custodians in the Shire of Dundas and pay our respects to their elders past and present. We have at the moment one councillor. Councillor Warner is attending electronically. Councillor Fleming, I'm hoping, will join us shortly. And we also have our Deputy CEO who is attending remotely. Councillors, we're missing a couple of people at the table, so I would like to move that we suspend standing orders 11.2, which is the one that says the members to occupy their own seats, just so that you can move around and see our public gallery of one. It doesn't work in here. Yeah. Another seconder for that.
I'll second that.
That's a woman in favour of that.
Yep.
Thank you, doke. Good to go.
Yep.
Okay. Item 2, declarations of interest.
No.
And proximity.
No.
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 Any gifts? No.
No.
Waiting. Okay, we are going to accept at the moment to Councillor Fleming. Our manager of works is actually on leave. Right? Yeah. We have a person in our public gallery. So, happy for your questions to be in public question time?
Yeah.
Yep.
Want to really go through your stuff?
Yep. So we have some questions from Raylene. One is, what was the expenditure to Bug Eyes? So it is essentially a horsefly mask company, but that expenditure is to restock in the visitor centre the fly nets that go over your hat. The caretaking of the pensioners group doesn't show as a specific line item. It's just in the operational budget, but it includes things like when they go for a bus trip to Esperance, or when the bus takes them up to the Christmas lunch at Coolgardie, or the rent on the building that the craft ladies use, all that sort of stuff.
So sorry, but I thought the craft group and the pensioners are totally different things for one, and I thought that it was in caretaking because it was the funds that we had raised during bake sales and things like that for the pensioners fund. When the op shop was still down over in Roberts Street, and then the funds when they moved out of there to go to have morning teas down here, that big deposit of money that was there.
So the pensioners group funds that themselves. That's not
Sorry?
through, the pensioners group funds that themselves. That's not through the Shire.
I know that for pensioners group funds it themselves, we fundraised, and then the money was put in caretaking to the Shire. And I would like to know where that money has gone, or where it's showing up in the budget, because I can't find it anywhere in the budget, and neither can the other pensioners.
If I may, Barney, have you got an answer to that? Could you hear the question?
Yep, if I may through the chair, the so the money received from the pensioners op shop, it is held for the pensioners, and whenever they want to do something like, they will put in a request. It's not, we don't take that and use it in any way, shape or form unless the pensioners, like for example, the chairperson might come and say, we want to do such and such, and then that money goes to them. We don't spend that money. It doesn't contribute to the rent or any of those activities. So there is an amount still held in there. It's I guess not held in a separate account, but it's held as a line item. It doesn't really go right down to those details in the financials, but we can give the pensioners a balance of what they hold. That's not a problem. We don't spend it towards the cost of any of the senior activities at all, unless they've specifically said, for example, one year they were thinking about doing Ravensthorpe, and that they would contribute to it out of some of the op shop money, but we don't spend that. We don't put it towards insurance or anything like that. It's held there.
Yeah, I assumed that, but it's just that there is no way of showing where it is held in the financials that we as the ratepayers can see, who worked so hard to help fundraise that money in the first place.
Yeah, so that's I can take it and talk to More Australia, Pete, and if we want to look at a specific line item that captures that money for from the op shop. But as for fundraising from sausage sizzles or anything like that the pensioners do, we definitely don't collect any of that.
If I may, Monia, the money coming in from the op shop, that's recorded in a separate journal off the council books.
Yeah.
It's not included in the council books. They've got a record, we've got a record.
That's right. And if they would like, if the request is that they would like to see like a running balance, that's easy enough to do. It's just a request.
Yeah.
Why are we holding it anyway?
It's to do with the op shop running a business and our insurance. So because it's technically a commercial business in one of our facilities, it has to do with that insurance discussion. 100% my life might be easier if it all just went through their association, but that's was the feedback when we do the insurance of that building.
So
do they actually have their own bank account? Because I think if they have a bank account, they can put all their sausage sizzle money into that, and we needn't have anything to do with it at all. That'd be much more preferable.
We don't hold any fundraising money. It's the running of a commercial business in our facility.
Okay.
So, Council, it would be good if they can register themselves to run it. I think that was one of the discussions a couple of years ago when we started this, that they're not a registered organisation. They're running out of a council building, and for that reason, we just hold the funds and they keep track of it. They tell us how much we've got of their money. We deposit it over the front counter and keep track of it that way.
I have one in relation to this. When that first happened, there was quite a few $1,000s in the account that you took over as well. Now that is something that they're not seeing.
That's
what.
No.
We have not taken over any of the pensioners' accounts. We've not taken over their accounts, not at all. So if I can, President, if council would like a report, we can do that. If council remembers back, literally, I think the pensioners had water and power cut off from their op shop. We had days to get them out of that building, and move them, but we have not taken ownership of their account, not at all.
Yeah. The only money that was from, which went the other way, which was out of council and to another group, was to the visitor centre group.
Yeah, no, this is just from when it was Dole, my mum, and Joyce from many years ago, which I'm talking probably 5 or 6 years ago now, before the other op shop closed down, when it, like that whole time frame. And I'm going from what they've said word of mouth. And when I said, okay, well, I'll have a look in the budget, I couldn't find anything anywhere, so that's why I'm asking the question.
No, if I may, through the chair, it's not reflected in our budget because it's not revenue that we generate. They keep track of what they give to us. They've got a note of what they've given, and we've got a note.
Yeah,
that's how it's been working.
I think it
So-
would need.
I just want to be clear that we have not taken over any of their accounts, not at all.
Yeah.
And the person that we interacted with was the chairperson at the time, and happy to do a report for council.
No worries. Thank you very much for answering that.
I'm happy not to have it at all.
Yeah. So if I may, through the chair, it'd be better if we don't have it, but then they just have to be registered, public liability insurances and all those. And that's why we're just holding the money. They tell us how much they give us. They keep track of it. We're not, it's just a holding account. It's not reflected in any other. It sits in the Muni account because we can't have a trust account. It sits in the Muni account as a line item with an amount assigned to the crafting group, the pensioner group.
Happy to revisit with the insurer, Pete, about the use
Yeah.
of that building. Happy
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and third question, when will, did you have something?
I was wondering, if I may, how does this work with the insurance? If something happens in there, is the Shire?
Gets out building.
We all, my through the chair, so we're fully covered. Council is covering them for public liability, insurance, fire, and that's the way we were recommended by the insurance to just hold their money until they registered themselves for their own public liability, building insurance, and the rest. Then we can charge a rent $1 a year for rent,
Yeah.
and then the liability shifts to the
To
group.
them. And when was this recommendation made?
It's just an insurance chat. It's not a formal recommendation to council. It was an insurance. So when Pania, it's like how many pages? About 500 pages of insurance forms.
Yeah.
So as soon as we make it a recommendation, technically we'll be in trouble because the group's not registered. They're not a registered organization. So to cover them, we've taken the liability off them.
But then as an organisation, when was that said?
No, they're
So
not.
if
No, they're not.
They're not registered.
Yeah, no, got that. Yeah.
But we can do a formal report. We just need to have a chat to councillors in the IB session, what that liability looks like.
Yeah.
If we push them, because do they make enough for public liability? Do they make enough for, so do they make enough for building insurance? So that's a chat to councillors in the workshop. I
And
don't think
also,
it's
do they want their bank account details ahead?
Yeah.
Do they want anybody to know? No,
Yeah.
there you go.
yeah, and we don't hold their account.
Yeah.
Their account's still their account.
Thank you. You don't. Okay. Third question is, when will the advertisement of the CEO position be advertised? Contract ends this year. It'd be good to have expressions of interest prior to Mr. Fitch's contract end date. So the CEO's contract doesn't go out for expressions of interest. There's a whole process that we have to go through. So it has to come to council to initiate the whole process, whether we offer a new contract, whether that contract will actually terminate at the end of that contract. There's a discussion between council and the CEO. Then we have to determine that we are going to go, if we want a new CEO, that we are going to go out for to advertise that position. Then we have to appoint a consultant to help us do that. So there's an entire process, and we have to do it within 6 months, between 12 and 6 months before the end of the contract. So those discussions will be starting anytime soon because we'll be bumping up against the 6 month timeframe. But it doesn't just, it's not just advertised. It doesn't just go out for expressions of interest. There is a whole process where council has to determine whether they do a new contract, whether it will terminate at the end of this contract, and then appointing consultants, and there's a whole process.
I was aware of the process. I just wasn't aware that if it had already started and if it was still going to be decided within the 6 months of the end date.
You'll know when it starts because it has to come to council. So it has to come to a meeting and has to be a decision of the council. Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
Top of my head.
Okey-doke. We shall move on then. Item 5, confirmation of minutes of the previous meeting.
I'll make that.
Thank you. Roll around.
Yeah.
Anybody have any adjustments, anything to add? No? We have a recommendation, the minutes of the annual general meeting of electors held the 10th of June 2025 be confirmed as a true and accurate record. Those in favour? Councillor Warner, you've disappeared.
Oh, have I?
Yes.
Am I there?
No, we can't
Okay.
see you, we can hear you.
Oh, I
And
can see
for-
me.
You're for that, you're for accepting the minutes?
Yes, sorry.
Thank you. Item 6, the receipt of the Shire of Dundas report 24. Recommendation, all the way on the back. I'll move that.
I'll second that.
Thank you. You'd like to speak to that, Councillor Clark? Nothing. Councillor Holman? No. We have a recommendations. Well, I will. I think that's quite a good effort. Our financials are good. Thank you to our Deputy CEO who's put a fair bit of blood, sweat and tears into getting this together. And I think we're doing quite well. So that's good, good outcome, good result from the auditors and generally good. Okay, we have a recommendation that the Shire of Dundas annual report for 24-25 as contained be received. Those in favour? Thank you. We have no other general business. So that being the case, we have no further business. I will declare the meeting closed at 4:47. Thank you, everybody.